How to install an EV charger at home in the UK. Welcome to Automotive class, your one-stop destination for all things automotive. In today's video, we're diving into the future of transportation by showing you how to install an electric vehicle EV charger right in the comfort of your own home. Whether you're an EV enthusiast or just curious about the electric revolution, you're in the right place. Let's get started. If you drive an electric car, a home EV charger makes life easy and cheap. We explain how to get one installed. Install an EV charger at home, and it becomes perfectly possible to charge an electric car or van cheaply, conveniently, and without the need to queue for hours. It won't be an exceptionally fast charge, but in truth, it doesn't matter. You can get home from work, plug in, and by the time you've finished your Weetabix the next day, you'll likely have a full battery. And that means that many cars will have the ability to travel more than 300 miles every morning, and without the need for a pit stop for a tank of unleaded or diesel. If you only travel a few miles a day to work, the shops, or to ferry the kids to school, as many of us do, you may only need to charge once a week, or even less. The reassuring idea of having a full tank every morning is a key reason why people choose an EV. Depending on your electricity tariff and the size of your car's battery, a full charge could cost less than £20. Of course, using a high-speed public charger will get you charged quicker, and may be essential on a long road trip, but it will also cost you more. Much more in some circumstances. At home, you'll never pay more than the electricity price cap. Here's how to install an EV charger at home and take advantage of the many benefits. How much does it cost to install? As with so many household jobs, the cost of installing an EV charger depends on how complex it is. As a very rough guide, you can expect to pay between £600 and £1,000 to have a charger supplied and fitted. For that, you'll have something that charges up to 7 kilowatts, and will be operated through a smartphone app. For more information, watch our full guide video. Are there any EV wallbox grants available? Sadly, if you're a homeowner, you've missed the boat, because the old electric vehicle home charge scheme used to cover a substantial part of the installation costs for most homeowners. In 2022, it was replaced by the EV ChargePoint grant, which is aimed at those who own and live in a flat, or those who rent a residential property. Assuming you have private off-street parking, and you own an eligible vehicle, you could receive £350 or up to 75% of the cost to buy and install a charger. The rules in Scotland are different. EV owners who live in rural and remote locations, and those who've bought a used EV through the Scottish government's Used Electric Vehicle Loan Scheme may be eligible for a £300 wallbox grant. Where should I put my EV charger? It sounds obvious, but you'll want to have your charger installed as close to your home's parking space as possible to avoid wires trailing across the path to your front door. It's worth giving thought to which side your car's charging port is located on, and whether you need to park nose in or can reverse park. But the reality is most charging cables are long enough to reach, and after a few parking attempts, you'll know intuitively where you need to stop. For the easiest and cheapest installations, you'll want to be fairly close to your home's electricity meter. The installer will drill a hole through the wall and run armored cable along the length of your house to the wall box. Of course, it's possible to hide cabling, but the more work that's involved to conceal, the more it'll cost. It's possible to have home wall box chargers installed in your garage, carport, or in or on outbuildings. Just remember that armored cables are expensive, and so is the cost of digging trenches or lifting floorboards to conceal it all. If you buy your home EV charger from a brand like Hive, PodPoint, or BP Pulse, they will talk you through the process, guiding you once you've bought the charger. You might need to talk them through your situation on the phone, and they will look at your house using Google Maps, or request photographs of your house and your electricity meter. If you use a local installer to supply and fit, they will be able to talk you through the process in person, as they would with any other electrical job. There are rules governing the positioning of wall boxes. It will need to be at least 2.5 meters from any metal devices you have around your house. It must be more than 2 meters from a public road or a listed building. Are all electric car chargers the same? Fundamentally, home electric chargers are simply a box with a socket or lead that screws on your wall. They all have a Type 2 plug, which is used by the vast majority of EVs, and are all built to withstand poor weather, extremes of temperature, and the occasional bit of rough handling. Few wallboxes are particularly stylish, but if you're looking for one to install on your own grand design, then consider Anderson, which features more attractive designs than most. Some wall boxes have a screen on the unit, but most use an app allowing you to schedule charging and monitor the charge state and the cost of electricity. More pragmatically, you'll need to decide what power rating you want. The vast majority of home EV chargers can deliver around 7 kilowatts, which is the maximum you'll get from the single-phase power supply most homes have. If you're lucky enough to have 3-phase power, you can get wall boxes that deliver up to 22 kilowatts. For a slower charge, 3 kilowatts wall boxes are available, but here you're charging only a little faster than you would from a 3-pin plug. All you're getting is the convenience of being able to plug in close to your car. Another consideration is whether you want your wall box to have a cable attached or not. Tethered wall boxes have their cable attached. Untethered wall boxes require you to plug a cable in each time. The choice is down to personal preference, but tethered chargers are more convenient because you don't need to get your cable out of the boot each time, but untethered wall boxes look neater. How much does it cost to run? The costs involved in using a wall box are governed by your home electricity supplier rather than the wall box itself. At the time of creating video, there is a tiny handful of specialist EV tariffs on the market and even fewer that are worth switching to right now. The situation is constantly evolving, so if you're planning your first EV purchase, it pays to shop around for the best electricity tariff more than ever. If you have a dual rate meter, you should be able to benefit from cheaper overnight charging. You can schedule this from the infotainment system in most EVs, or through the companion app. You may also be able to schedule through the Wallbox app, too. To calculate the cost of your charge, look at your energy statement to find out how much you're paying per kilowatt, then multiply that by the size of your car's battery. So, at the current electricity price cap of 34 pence per kilowatt, it'll cost £14 to charge a Nissan Leaf's 40 kilowatt-hours battery from empty to full, or about £20 to charge the Tesla Model 3's 60 kilowatt-hours battery to maximum. Remember, in the same way, petrol cars are rarely filled from empty to full. You'll likely only be making a partial charge. In the same way that miles per gallon are arguably more important than the cost of petrol per liter, the cost per mile, or miles per kilowatt-hour is important for EVs. This is the measure of your car's economy, and will be influenced by how and where you drive, as well as the outside temperature. EVs are far more efficient in warmer weather than they are in the depths of winter. To find this out, have a look at a range of online car reviews for the miles kilowatt-hour figure, often shortened to mile per kilowatt-hour. How long does it take to charge an electric car at home? The length of time to charge is one of the first questions asked, but also one of the hardest. Unlike petrol or diesel, which is governed by the size of your fuel tank and the number of miles you want to drive before the next fill-up, EV drivers need to understand the rate of charge. Or to put it in terms of conventional fuels, the size of the pump or the diameter of the fuel hose, things that simply aren't considerations. You'll find estimated charging times in your car's handbook. As an illustration, charging a Tesla Model 3 from 0 to 100% using a 3 kilowatts charger will take 15 to 22 hours, compared to 8-12 hours from a 7 kilowatts charger. A 22 kilowatts charger would cut this to between 5-8 hours. Another thing to consider is that depending on other appliances you're running at home, you might find you're not getting the full rate of charge. To avoid blowing fuses, many wall boxes will throttle back the rate of charge delivered if you're using another power hungry kit, such as a hot tub. But for many drivers, the time it takes to charge their EV at home is largely moot, because higher mileage drivers will quickly get into the habit of charging every evening regardless of how much juice is in their car's battery. And there you have it, folks. You're now equipped with the knowledge to set up your very own home EV charger. No more trips to the charging station, you'll have the power right at your fingertips. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more exciting automotive content. If you have any questions or want to share your own EV charging experiences, feel free to drop a comment below. We love hearing from our automotive class community. Until next time, drive safe and stay electrified.